you present, and let's start with JTV first. Hello, Giorgio, Rico Zabrine, Juventus TV. Well, tomorrow is going to be a very tough game. So what does Juventus need in order to bring a positive result home? Well, tomorrow I think is probably going to be the easiest match of all the ones that we've been playing so far. Basically, also the coach has told us the same thing. Well, actually, these are very nice games because you can prepare them very easily, because obviously there is a high tension and high concentration. So basically everything is taken to the highest level from the atmosphere that we'll be playing. Obviously, we'll be playing home tomorrow against the European champions that have got even stronger. So it's going to be a very nice, but also particularly challenging and nice game. I think that we'll be playing a very nice match. So we're all looking forward to tomorrow, and I think that all the supporters, all the fans, and us included, are looking forward to playing tomorrow. Giorgio Albanese, Sport Italia. So when you conceded a goal, what mistakes you should not make tomorrow? You can't afford to make tomorrow. Well, actually, in the Champions League, we have not conceded any goals yet, so hopefully this will bring us good luck. Well, actually, we shouldn't allow the opponent to restart, especially against a side like Chelsea that are very physical, they're very compact. Well, actually, they are a team, and as they have demonstrated recently, and also as they showed in the last season, so we have to be very patient and be very fast in our game, and obviously try not to let them express their best qualities. Hello, Gallo di Diapason. So are you ready for the fight? Because tomorrow there will be another chapter of a very classical game of European football. So basically, you know what I'm making a reference to? Well, of course, maybe it's a little bit diminishing just to talk about this, of the challenge that could be between me and Lukaku. Well, actually, we would be fortunate enough if we could play a very balanced game where we don't concede too many spaces to players like Lukaku, but Havertz, Werner, and all the other midfielders and all the other forwards of Chelsea, because in those situations it's very difficult to mark them. Actually, 99% of the defenders find it very hard to mark them. So we'll have to be extremely careful not to create situations like these, and so not to create those situations that can let them express their qualities. Well, Lukaku on top, of course, because he's a player that, new signing that Chelsea has been paid for a lot, and so obviously is there to win the champions, not by chance. Romeo Gresti, I would like to ask you realistically, what about champions growth and development in this Champions League? Well, what we really hope and expect is to qualify. Then, of course, from February onwards, there are many possible situations depending on the draws, injuries, and our fitness and the evolutions of the various teams that can obviously change throughout the whole season. I would say that right now, both in the Italian League and in the Champions League, we can't really make long-term plans, but we have to be focused on our present, work hard, and of course improve and get better and play as we are doing. Of course, being aware of the fact that we need to grow, but also aware of the qualities that we already have. So we must channel all these with the right awareness and with the right perspective. So, Giorgio, you are really very experienced together with Bonucci, so you also help the coach to train these new players in the Champions League. Is that right? Well, no. Well, in the Champions League, well, we are all very experienced, except for a few young ones. Well, actually, Chiesa already played last year, and this year we have Locatelli that is now facing the first experiences. But they are very encouraging and stimulating. They're very nice incentives so that everybody can really grow. I remember when I was younger and I was really eager to play against the top players in Europe. So these are matches that can truly help you to improve, because when when you play against the best, the top players, you understand what you miss, what you lack, and so you can always raise the bar and reach a higher level. And of course, during the week and during the Italian league, of course, you need to work on a regular basis to further grow. But only if you play in the Champions League, you can really raise the bar. Hello, Giorgio. Calciomercato.it. So I would like to ask you how much Dybala that will be missing tomorrow will have an impact on tomorrow's match. Well, of course, Paolo is an essential, is a fundamental player for us, and we can't deny it. But we are a team that have everything that it needs in order to overcome also these difficulties. So hopefully it will only miss a couple of matches. But of course, we have a squad of very good players that will be able to compensate for him. And then one of the main qualities of the coach that is sitting next to me, that he always tries to find alternative solutions whenever he has to deal with new situations, and basically that's what we have done, and we'll be doing the same also to face any possible future problems. Alessandro Antinelli, Rai Sport. Well, hello Giorgio, I would like to ask you an important result from tomorrow's match. Do you think that it might really help you to take off in this season? Well, it will be helpful, of course, but with the right balance and the awareness of the different moments, well, even a win will have to keep us with a low profile, but of course it could boost our confidence, as the last two wins have done. Of course, when you win, you can work with much more serenity, but of course we need to work hard on a regular basis despite the results, and so we need to find the right balance in any moment of the season and also during the matches. We definitely need to find the best balance in any situation, whether it is positive or negative. Ozenbin Sport. Hello, Giorgio. So 9 years ago, you were there when Juventus won 3-0 against Chelsea, that was the European champion. So can you tell us something more about that experience? And my question is, how is tomorrow's match going to be important for Juventus, apart from the 3 points? Well, you've just anticipated what I wanted to say, because of course a win in this group stage tomorrow would certainly allow to play against Zenit with a match point that would be definitely very useful, and with the possibility to qualify very early in this group stage, and that could also help us manage the last matches in the best possible way, especially in terms of energies. Of course, we need to be extremely conscious and aware, but I think that is the rise from our performance, the performance that we'll be able to show tomorrow, and regardless of the final result. So probably the final result could be affected by a few episodes, but what we want to show, what we want to demonstrate tomorrow is great solidity, strength, and enthusiasm. Hello, Giorgio. Gianluca Danilo La Stampa. I would like to ask you if this Juventus already tomorrow is ready for a defense with 3 players. Well, actually, I'm not a coach yet, so I'm giving the floor to the coach to answer this question. Well, actually, I will never be a coach, so actually just change question. Well, I would say that Giorgio will be a great manager. So, okay, the question about the defense, you can ask the coach later. Good evening, Giorgio, Luca Cavallero. Well, I would like to ask you specifically if, in terms of defense, something has changed compared to the first cycle where you had Mr. Allegri as a coach. Well, the requests, his demands are always the same, but of course they also change from one match to another, and they also change according to the different players, because, of course, playing with Cuadrado as a fullback is not like playing with Danilo. Maybe playing with a more physical midfield is different from playing with a midfield that is more technical. So obviously, depending on the opponent, the specific requests change, but the general approach and our principles are always the same, and we're trying to find them again after 2 years that we played with a different game, without saying whether it was better or worse, because of course in everything you can find good things and bad things. But I think that we need to find again that fil rouge, that those elements that have brought solidity and also have guaranteed self-confidence in order to be successful in Italy and in Europe. So we definitely need to find the right mixture. So as I already said, the key word is balance. So we need to find the right balance also on the pitch in order to reach the levels that we all aspire to. Hello, Fabiana Della Valle, Gazzetta dello Sport. So you're going to play against Giorgio, that is one of your teammates in the national. So what are your main worries? So what about also the Ballon d'Or? Do you think that he would deserve to win it? Well, I truly hope that he will be able to win it, because he's a good friend of mine, and it will be also an award that I will also feel as mine, being an Italian, of course, and as a player that was involved in a win and in emotions that will always be in our hearts. Well, I've always thought that Jorginho was a good player. Well, after 2-3 training sessions in the national team, well, I'm talking about 2-3 years ago, because after the first cycle I still had an experience with Conte, Ventura, but then since Mancini arrived, that was able to give continuity. So basically I realized how good he is, what a top player he really is, because maybe it doesn't have great physical qualities, but the real difference lies in his head and his mentality. And I was really happy, because many people said that he could only play with Sarri. Instead, 2 other coaches arrived in Chelsea, and then he played also in the Italian national team. Basically, wherever he goes, he plays as a regular player. And so I'm really very happy for him. He definitely deserves to win that award, and so I truly hope that he will be awarded the Ballon d'Or. Hello Giorgio, Marco Conteri, Tutto Mercato Web. Well, now we know that you won't work as a coach in the future, and we don't know whether the defense tomorrow will be playing with 3 players or not. But what about the league? In order to take a further step ahead and to reach your and Bonucci's level, so what do you think he misses? Well, Mattias has his own characteristics that are different from mine and Leo, and basically has been playing a very important season, because after a very hard first year, he had a terrible post-lockdown period, because last year, after the injury to his shoulder during the COVID times, that certainly slowed down a lot, because basically he spent 3 weeks, in COVID times, and so it was not easy to come back. And at the European Cup, after 2 matches, then everything was compromised, and so probably it's true that in your head, your mentality might be affected by these situations, but certainly he's been playing in the last 2 seasons where he has grown a lot. So he's just 22 years old, so he still has great room for improvement, which doesn't mean that he's not good already now, but he's 22 years old, so obviously there is still room for improvement, and he needs to improve. But he has great physical power and strength, and he will have to dose this strength and power, so to use it in the best possible way. But he's certainly a great international player. Last question. Hello, Giorgio Nerozzi, Corriere della Sera, Corriere Torino. Well, now you have been playing all your life, basically, both in the Champions League and the Italian League. So what are the differences in play? And but what are the levels that maybe are different? What do you think? Well, that's very right. You actually play against the best of the different nations, of different countries. You basically play against the teams that are used to winning regularly. So also when you play against Malmo, basically you play against a team that is used to winning in their own national league, and to win in their division, in their category. And so maybe when they play against Juventus and Chelsea, they might make some more efforts. But when you play against these teams, you realize that the physical preparation is really remarkable, and these also more than in some, average matches in the Italian league. But compared to the other leagues of the other countries, well, I'm thinking about the Premier League, the English Premier League. Well, obviously the quality of the players you're playing against definitely make the difference. Thank you very much, Giorgio. And now we can move to the questions to Mr. Allegri. Hello. JTV. So tomorrow, Dybala and Morata will not be playing. So will you surprise us with anything particular? Well, I don't really need to surprise you, but I have a couple of ideas. I have confused ideas, to be honest. No, but apart from jokes, tomorrow morning I will decide who will be playing tomorrow evening. We'll see. So we had a good training session apart from Ramsey. Everybody is available. So tomorrow morning I will make the final decision. But tomorrow we have to do as Giorgio has just pointed out. So I can basically leave this press conference because he has already said everything, and luckily. So we need to play very technical match. They are very physical. They are very solid side. So they have worked very hard because they have given great solidity. They are very good in the counter attack and the inactive balls. So basically, we'll have to be very good in the inactive balls. So. We might concede goals, it might happen because this is what happens in football, but we'll have to start from the very beginning with a very good approach and to play well on the pitch, because of course they will be playing hard. So Sport Italia would like to ask you about the defense with 3 players. So among all the confused ideas, have you now some more clear ideas on Bonucci, De Ligt and Chiellini? Well, that's the first doubt, to be honest. This is the very first doubt that I still have. Well, I have already explained. It's not a matter of defense with 3 players, but it really depends on how the ball goes. So that's the situation. So apart from the confused areas, I know you have very clear ideas. Is it possible that Chiesa will be playing at the front? I'm giving you a suggestion. Well, I'm really very happy to listen to all your suggestions. With Chiellini and Ken and Kulusevski behind, and Chiesa at the front. And sorry if I gave you this piece of advice. Well, we have players with different qualities, and of course we have now also Ken, and so we'll try to put 2 or 3 at the front, depending on their characteristics, of course. But basically, tomorrow morning, I will actually decide what the lineup will be for tomorrow's match. Good evening, Massimo Lanare, TGR Piemonte. Well, maybe I didn't hear before, but what about Rabiot? Is going to be available? And what about the left flank, Bernardeschi, that we saw against Sampdoria? Were you satisfied with this performance? But Bernardeschi played a very nice match. Well, Bernardeschi is certainly a player that has great potential that have not been fully expressed yet, because he's got such an important engine from a physical point of view that sometimes he plays a sort of a playmaker, but obviously must play and exploit all his qualities, because maybe he kicks in a certain way, attacks in a certain way. So basically what he did against Sampdoria was certainly a very good match, and basically has always been playing well whenever I have asked him to play, as he did in La Spezia. So everything depends on the mentality, on your determination, on especially when you have the ball, of course. Well, Rabiot is available, as I said before. Well, his ankle is fine, so yes, it will be available for tomorrow. Fabiana Della Valle, Gazzetta dello Sport. Well, you said that you would say 3 players against Chelsea. That's what you said the previous. So Szczesny, Locatelli, and Alexandro. Is it right? Do you like it? Okay, fine. Oh, fine. I would like, no, apart from jokes, I would like to know what you expect from the team, especially from the young players that will be playing an important role. Well, they're not young. Actually, they maybe have less experience at the international level. But what I expect, and I already told the whole team today, tomorrow I want to see a team that will be playing a good match from a technical point of view in a very clean way, because they're a very physical opponent. So you must be very patient. So you will have to enjoy playing these type of matches, because of course they're great attention. So there are further incentives. So this is pretty normal to react this way, but at the same time we must be able to play an international match, because we know that the other side, if you make any mistakes, they will punish us. Well, actually, we have made mistakes here in Italy, and we're punished also here in Italy, but tomorrow we'll have to do even more. So we'll have to be very clean from a technical point of view, which means that we have to play very well. Romeo Gresti. Well, you said recently something about Rabiot, that even him doesn't know how strong he is. So how can Rabiot further grow? So what does he need in order to really come out as a top player? Well, more or less is similar to Bernardeschi. Well, the difference among the players is basically when the players come here to Juventus, if a big club like Juventus chooses these top players, obviously there must be a reason. But the difference in their career, of course, depends on their mentality, of what they have in their mind, in their specific objective in helping the whole team, and also the capacity of putting themselves in question and to improve, and also being very determined in attending the training sessions, in scoring and defending. So basically, these are the elements that make the difference, and they are the key features for making the difference, because how many good technical players then have not been able to explode in their career because maybe there was something missing. So Rabiot is a player that if I were you, I would be very angry to myself, because he's a player that in Italy, if I'm not wrong, he has been here for 3 years. So basically, how many goals has he scored? Probably 10, around 10 in 2 seasons. Well, that's not acceptable. So if I were him, I would be very upset to me, because of course he needs to kick better to the goal, and so it needs to improve all these things in order to get really better, and I'm pretty sure that he will be able to do it this year. I would like to ask you about a player that has great experience, a great physical preparation and fitness for tomorrow. It is Danilo. So do you think that he might be playing a bit more at the front, or maybe is an experiment that you have set aside? And what about Arthur? Well, Arthur is still behind. No, he has undergone some physical tests. And now during the international break, we're going to play 2 friendly matches to give him the opportunity to reach the best condition in as fast as possible, and also to give the opportunity to other players that have not been playing so much to play. As to Danilo, well, Danilo is going to play tomorrow, so I can give you the name of a 4th player. You see, are you happy with this prize I've just given? What, more the front? Well, I don't know. I mean, you mean ahead, against Torino, that's what you mean? Oh, you mean the position on the pitch? Well, I don't know, actually. I don't know. Good evening, Luca Cavallero. Well, instead, I would like to ask you a question about Betancourt. So, how do you judge his beginning of this season, and what about his relationship with Locatelli from a tactical point of view? Well, my opinion on Betancourt, well, I believe that he has grown a lot, and he had the possibility to score a goal last Sunday, but alone, and this is my personal opinion, cannot really be a playmaker, but it needs the collaboration of the other players. And so Locatelli, from this point of view, can definitely help him. And so they will be sharing this role, also because Rodrigo cannot do it on his own. And Locatelli in this moment is not ready yet to do it on his own. So basically, when they play together, 50-50 or 70-30. So the important thing is to reach 100%. Good evening, Alessandro Antinelli, Rai Sport. So, question about Keane, because last year with Paris Saint-Germain in the Champions League, he did very well. So, what do you expect from him? What about the further step ahead? Do you believe that he could take this further step ahead in a match like tomorrow's with also more responsibilities? Well, actually, Keane shouldn't be given any extra responsibilities. Well, basically, Keane will have to play his match and score goals. Well, something that he can do really very well is to score goals, because of course he kicks very well in front of the goal, and then he attacks very well, he closes the action very well. So basically he needs to improve when he has to play with the rest of the team in the ball control, so in his individual technique. But considering his young age, he has already got quite a lot of experience. Giorgio Codenino La Stampa, I would like to ask you a question about Chiesa. Well, in this 2021, Chiesa has really exploded. Also in the Champions League, he scored several goals. He has won the European Cup. So maybe tomorrow will be used more as a forward. Well, what I expect from Federico, well, basically, I expect what he has been doing so far, and even more, even better than that. I believe that he has done really a very good job, because, you know, getting to Juventus and playing an important season as he did last year was not so obvious, it was not easy at all. And now, after playing the Euros where he scored crucial goals, well, these put him in a condition where he's no longer the young player that whatever he does is good. Basically now everybody has a very high expectations, but for him, of course, the margin of mistake is getting narrower and narrower, and so obviously also his room for improvement, the gap now has got shorter. So that's why for him this year is going to be more difficult. It's going to be harder, more challenging than last year. So that's why he needs to learn other things. Last three questions. So I'll be asking now a question on the match. So what about Chelsea playing against Manchester City? Well, that match showed that Chelsea had great difficulties. Also, Giorgio said that they were a little bit too under pressure. So do you think this could be the key to success for tomorrow's match? So also pressing a lot, pressing Chelsea a lot could be the solution to win tomorrow. Of course, we need to press a lot, but we must be balanced in our pressing. And when we carry the ball, we must be able to play it well, because you need to make more ball passes, because if after 5 passes you just give the ball to the opponent, well, you won't be able to play 95 minutes by pressing the opponent. So basically, when you carry the ball, you must be able to breathe a little bit in order to find again the strength to recover. Tutto Sport. So I would like to start from an anecdote that you personally told us. That is, when you signed the first agreement with Juventus and you asked that there should be a prize to win the Champions League, and you said that they were staring you as you were crazy. So what about this new adventure? Well, it's my ambition, it's a desire that I have. So basically, when you participate in the Champions League, we should all have the desire to win. And this is exactly what motivates you to do amazing things, extraordinary things. So tomorrow we're going to play against the European champions. So it's going to be a wonderful night, so regardless of the final result, because we want to play well, to guarantee a good performance, we want to be enthusiastic. It will be a great emotion. So what I like is the emotions of playing these matches. And this is exactly what pushes you to do incredible things. Because we all need to work to reach the top, trying to win the Champions League, trying to win the National League, because only this way you will reach the top level. So basically setting lower goals. Of course, if you qualify through the group stage is really a good objective, but that's not enough. You need to go ahead. So basically our objective is to reach the final, but actually our desire, we all have this desire to reach the final. Then I don't know whether we'll be able to reach that moment, but basically it's our target and we want to be able to reach that target. So the same thing can be said for the Scudetto. So this is exactly what makes the difference. So your self-esteem, your personal ambition, especially if you're part of a great club, that obviously, it doesn't mean that we can win every single year, because it's impossible, of course, because there are all the others, because winning is not normal, but it's something extraordinary. But this is exactly what we are looking for. The desire that we all need to have. Last question. Hello, Nerozzi, Corriere della Sera and Corriere Torino. Well, I would like to ask you, the Premier League has been the greatest league in the world. Do you think that they just have more money or maybe something else? Well, I don't know if it is the most beautiful championship in the world or not. Well, it's just different, because the Italian league is different from the French one or the Spanish or German ones. So basically there are different atmospheres, and there is also a different football culture. Well, in England there is a different culture. I never really worked as a coach there, but also hearing from those that worked in England and also watching all the matches, it's clear that the culture is different. Also, all the fans are going to the stadium, support their team and not against the others, while here in Italy it's different. It's just a cultural approach. So basically people go to the stadium to see the show and support their own players, while in Italy there is a completely different culture. And that's what it is. In Spain, again, there is another one, and also in Germany, and so on and so forth. And then, of course, the fact that they might have more economic resources, but this is a fact. Because I think that the English Premier League is sold for 3.6 billion. So basically the ratio is 1:3, if I'm not wrong. So there's nothing to be said about that. It's undeniable. But in Italy, we have an advantage that from a tactical point of view, well, basically, somehow here in Italy, we were smart enough, to find solutions to fix things, but this is part of the Italian DNA. So we shouldn't become Spain, France, Germany, or England. We are Italy, and that's what we are, like it or not. Then, of course, there is always room for improvement. But we can, because again, the facilities are different from the Spanish or the German ones, so probably we are closer to the German ones, but we're definitely different from the English league. And then what matches are nice or not? Because I always wonder, and I like to learn and also to listen to the others, but nice match, what? What do you mean by a nice match? There are nice matches that end 3-2 or 2-1 or 1-0 or 0-0, basically. Maybe many people don't like a draw without any goals scored, because some people don't really enjoy all the different details of the match because of course defenders also do very nice things. There are some nice matches that end up without any goals, basically. I've just come back now after COVID, so I started wondering, all the different results that many teams have obtained so far, and I hear people saying that football has changed. Well, it might be like that, but we'll be assessing it after 1 year, because basically we have played 1 year and a half without fans, without supporters, and so obviously the pressure is completely different. And so without supporters, without fans, the situation is completely different. Now we had 50% of the supporters, now it's going to be 75%. So obviously we need to get used again to these situations. So until next March or April, you can't really say whether football has changed or not, just considering the results, because more matches end 3-2, but we don't have enough data to be able to really evaluate whether it is really like this or not, because then in March we'll have more elements to make this type of assessment, especially when the points will have a different weight, especially with the full stadium. We truly hope so, which will mean that we manage to win against the pandemic. But now because here in Italy whenever you score, a goal, you're given 35 million, and then matches end 3-2, and then football has changed. You're very good and very fast at giving judgments, but be patient, just wait a minute. We don't have enough data to make this kind of judgments, to make this kind of assessments. But of course, other people might have a different opinion. Well, thank you very much. Have a nice evening.